Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. If you've ever woken up feeling, just completely stuck, or maybe you've got this lingering restlessness you just can't seem to shake, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking some fascinating source material that looks at the human condition through a really simple, but honestly, a profoundly effective lens. We're talking about the lens of nature. We're going to break down exactly why we stagnate, and more importantly, the actual actionable steps we can take to get back to thriving. Let's get into it. Cultivating the soil of the human spirit. So think about this for a second. What do you do when a plant stops growing? Like when that fern on your windowsill starts drooping or the leaves get all pale and yellow, what's your first instinct? You don't just stand there and yell at the plant, right? You don't put it in timeout or blame it for, lacking willpower. You definitely don't just expect it to try harder. No, your immediate instinct is to look around it. You become a detective of its environment. And this simple shift, going from blaming the organism to checking the environment, that is literally the key to unlocking our own personal periods of feeling stuck.
Moving into Section 1, the wilting plant metaphor. Check your environment.
Because look, when a plant isn't thriving, any good gardener goes through a really specific, logical checklist. First up, they check the soil health. Is it nutrient-rich, or is it totally depleted? Then, they check the sunlight. Is the poor thing hidden in a dark corner, or maybe getting fried by too much direct heat? They check the water levels, obviously. And then, if none of those immediate fixes work, they systematically move the plant to a completely different environment. They might repot it with better soil, or just move it to a different room. The bottom line here is that the environment dictates the growth. It's just an undeniable law of nature.
Which brings us right to Section 2, when we stop growing, or human stagnation.
This is where the connection between the natural world and our own internal worlds gets really interesting. Think about typical plant symptoms. Leaves are falling off, it's failing to bloom, it just looks generally unhealthy. Now, compare that to the human equivalent. Think about when you're feeling stuck, unfulfilled by your work, or like your life just doesn't have much meaning. We're talking about feeling stressed out, anxious, maybe depressed. We're talking about incredibly low energy, feeling totally restless, or just being entirely unable to focus and take care of yourself. If you're experiencing these things, well, you're essentially a wilting plant. You aren't physically or mentally drained because you're inherently broken. It's because your environment is failing you.
And that brings us to this absolutely crucial point from our source text. Instead of uprooting the plant, we need to work on the environment. Think about how often we try to uproot ourselves, right? We immediately think, oh, I'm the problem. I need to completely change who I am. We just beat ourselves up. But the source material makes this definitive argument. If something isn't working out for you, despite your absolute best efforts, you have got to stop looking inward with blame. You need to start looking outward with curiosity. You don't need to be uprooted. You just need better soil, better water, and better light.
So let's look at Section 3, the human environment and its immediate factors. Now, our human environment is, of course, way more complex than just the physical room we happen to be sitting in. It's actually made up of 4 major pillars that we interact with every single day. Let's break these slices down. First up, your people and network. Who are you talking to every day? Are they lifting you up, or are they completely draining your energy? Second is media. What are you watching, listening to, and reading? Think of this as the mental sunlight you're absorbing. Third is your physical space. This is the actual place you inhabit. Your access to nature, the air quality, the literal sunlight hitting your skin. And fourth, nutrition, the actual food and water you use to fuel your body. All of these equal slices combine to create the exact environment your human spirit is trying to grow in.
I want to hang on this idea for just a second, because it is so incredibly vital. Your immediate environment is anything that goes inside you. It's anything that you can feel and experience. Literally every single sensory and emotional input. The chat you have at the local coffee shop, the podcast you throw on during your commute, the news articles you're doom scrolling through before bed, even the fresh air, or lack of it, in your office. Every single one of these things is acting as either nutrient-rich fertilizer or toxic weed killer. The environment is the defining factor in our ability to achieve pretty much anything. Because honestly, you cannot outwork a toxic environment, just like a plant can't outgrow poisoned soil.
Okay, let's get practical with Section 4, Cultivating Your Soil. Steps to improve.
Let's walk through this simple 3-step blueprint pulled right from the principles in the source material. Step 1. Review who you interact with. You really need to take a hard, objective look at your network. Are the people around you acting as sunlight, or are they blocking it out? Step 2. Audit what you consume. This means taking a real inventory of your media diet, the shows, the social feeds, the books. Are they feeding your anxiety, or are they feeding your growth? And step 3. Check your nutrition and physical space. Are you giving your body the basic food and water it needs? Are you putting yourself in physical spaces that let you actually breathe and feel grounded? By consciously improving these immediate factors, you will absolutely, for sure, improve the quality of your life. It's just pure cause and effect.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on as you look at your own life today. Is your current soil meant for blooming, or is it designed for wilting? If you're feeling stuck right now, just remember the wilting plant. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop trying to completely uproot who you are. Instead, try becoming the master gardener of your own life. Audit your surroundings, adjust your light, change out that soil, and just watch how naturally the blooming follows. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I highly encourage you to take maybe 5 minutes today to just sit down and audit your own 4 slices of the environment. Catch you next time.